there have been two factors really that have been at the ethos of our NDC solution to help us drive modernization. One is simplicity and the other is value creation. So let's talk about simplicity first. We have spent an immense amount of time and resources on our digital teams to build seamless tools focused on customer centricity. And in 2018, we were actually able to build those and expose those capabilities for NDC to our indirect consumers for the first time. An example of this is our implementation of waiver scenarios. So you could have a scenario where you could have bad weather or unrest that could potentially cause disruptions to travel. And we may issue a proactive waiver saying, hey customer, you have the ability to change your flight. For free, there are not going to be any penalties within these parameters. Today, that is a process that is manual and fraught with error. The agent has to pull up the reservation, they have to look up the waiver codes, understand that if the change the customer wants to make is within those parameters, make that change, append a waiver code manually. All of these steps have the potential for errors to occur. What we've done with NDC is we have automated it. There is no implementation or no requirement of a manual waiver code. The agency just comes in, they run through the exchange flow, we automatically look it up and determine if there is a waiver applicable to the reservation and apply it ourselves. Literally everything is automated. That's a big time saver for the agencies. Can you imagine the use cases they can now service because they've been able to handle that scenario that would have previously taken them 10, 15 minutes in about 2 or 3 now? When we talk about value creation, we want to talk about products that we can't offer outside of NDC because of technological limitations. And a great example of this is in the faring world. Now we have price points that we are willing to sell, but we cannot offer because of existing technology limitations. We call this continuous pricing. So let me talk a little bit about what exactly continuous pricing is. Let's take an example of a market like Chicago to New York. We may have a fare at $100 and then the next available fare is at $150. Our revenue management system may determine that we will be willing to accept a $125 fare. Let's call that opportunity cost. But because of the existing system limitations, when we are saying we're willing to accept a $125 fare, the $100 fare is not available, we're selling a $150 fare. So the customer in the end is seeing a more expensive fare than we would have been willing to accept. So what continuous pricing does is it enables us to offer these price points to the customer that exist where our opportunity cost is. And it's funny because we were at a recent travel agency event and we heard, well, isn't continuous pricing going to be used by airlines to increase fares and sometimes lower fares? And that doesn't sound like a good idea for us. It's essentially, they were saying, continuous pricing, you're going to win some, you're going to lose some. And we have not designed our technology or our solution like that. For us, the customer is either going to see a price that is equivalent to what is in the ATPCO environment or a fare that's lower than that. So for us, for continuous pricing, it is you tie some and you win some. And for the customer, it's a benefit because they see a cheaper price. So we want to ensure that the capabilities we've built with NDC are available to all our customers. Step 1 is for travel agencies, GDSs, and aggregators to consume our content. Step 2 is for online booking tools like Concur to consume that content. We're not at that stage yet where a lot of online booking tools have begun their consumption of NDC. So we're on that journey, and we have been on that journey with our partners for a few years now to display that content, but it's not enough. We definitely see opportunity, and we urge the industry to help modernize distribution by enabling OBT readiness for NDC. I would definitely say our NDC journey is at a growth phase, even in the last 2 years when we had struggling demand across the industry due to COVID. What we've really focused on is our servicing. Our servicing was built not only for business travelers, but for leisure travelers. We sat down and holistically looked at the use cases that needed to be supported to provide robust servicing. And while that has been primarily in the leisure market so far, we look forward to growing business travel NDC usage in 2023 and beyond. So United, we're developing NDC to modernize our experience for the customer. And one example of that is in the servicing space. During the pandemic, because of our ticket control limitations and because of some software limitations on our end, indirect bookings would come to United and we would be unable to service them. A good example of that is an involuntary schedule change. A customer has booked through an indirect channel. Their booking undergoes a schedule change because we cancel the flight or we retime the flight, and that customer calls United to have that booking serviced. Now, unfortunately, we have had to tell that customer you have to go back to the agency because we don't have the ability to access that particular ticket. And that turned out to be a very annoying experience for our customer because we're telling them to go to the agency. The agency may want to redirect them to the airline if they're not able to service the bookings, so that was a very negative scenario for our customers. What we've done with NDC is we have actually built our technology so that we are able to service the bookings directly on our side, on our direct channels, as well as through the NDC API. The way we're able to do this is by issuing our NDC orders on United ticket stocks. So the same technology that is powering our direct channel, so our ticketing services, our payment services, are also the same technology stack that's powering our NDC API. That makes an NDC booking look very similar to a direct channel booking and enables the whole ability for true omni-channel servicing. So now our customers can choose to service their bookings on their channel of choice, whether that's through the indirect channel, whether that's through the direct channel. And on top of that, we're able to keep our orders in sync because it is issued on the same ticket. So beyond that, we've also built notifications to help notify our customers. So if a customer comes to United.com to make a change to their booking, we're not just assuming the agency knows. We're pushing out a notification to say, agency, there has been a change on this order. Take a look at it. The customer has made a voluntary change on United. So we're providing a lot more richer messaging than has been possible in the past to not only improve the customer experience, but also provide visibility for our agency partners. I think as you build out your implementation, it's important to think of feature parity with existing distribution systems, but it really shouldn't stop there. We should look at what we can do to make the customer's experience better, what we can do to make the agent's experience better, and drive forward from just trying to replicate what we have in existing technology. An example I'd like to share is our order change notification process. So traditionally, we have sent involuntary change notifications when a customer undergoes a schedule change. But we've taken NDC to take a step further. We can provide operational notifications. We can provide notifications when changes are made on non-NDC channels to ensure that the seller is always aware of the latest status of the order. A couple of examples of this are a customer that checks in for an NDC order. We're able to send an OCN for that. That way that could fulfill a duty of care requirement for the travel agency. Similarly, if a customer comes to United.com to cancel their booking or to service it, we're able to send a notification so the agency can retrieve the order and know what the latest status is.